Hey everyone! So today I'm here to review the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. It retails for $48 US, $59 in Canada. It contains an ounce or 30 milliliters of product, and it is available in 20 shades. Which the 20 shades that are available are actually pretty outstanding. They come in a lot of different undertones, so you're most likely bound to find something that will work for you. It is said to be an oil-free foundation that delivers full, natural-looking coverage with one drop for lightweight 16-hour wear. Now before I go on with the review, we should probably note that my skin type is dry. Extremely to mildly dry depending on the day or season, and I only sometimes get oily on my forehead and nose area. The packaging is a frosted glass bottle with a silicone textured cap. The foundation comes housed with a pump which disperses a nice controlled amount of product in one go, and achieving half a pump is possible. My preferred method for applying foundation is either with a dense brush or my fingers. With either method, 2 pumps was enough to generously cover my face, but I found when I was using a brush, 3 pumps was pretty much good for my desired amount of coverage. This foundation is also fragrance free, so if you're sensitive to smells, this foundation isn't going to bother you. The formula is a thinner liquid consistency and has a full buildable coverage that can be sheared easily. The finish of this foundation is a soft satin matte. It leaves your skin looking lively and not overly flat and like some matte foundations can leave you looking. It applies and blends incredibly easy across the skin, and it doesn't require any extra effort to blend out brush streaks or diffuse the product around the edges of your face. This foundation blends incredibly well into your skin. I also found that it absorbs or sets rather quickly as well. It never feels heavy on your skin, so the weightless claim of it is true. It also doesn't feel restricting or cakey or greasy like usually before you set your foundation it kind of feels tacky on your face. This foundation doesn't feel like that even if you don't set it. It leaves your skin feeling like your skin. Alright, so on to application. I have absolutely nothing on my face at the moment. This is pretty much the state of me 90% of the time. Welcome to my bare face. So the foundation itself says shake well, so we're just gonna go ahead and shake that. So let's just go ahead and apply it. The nicest part about this foundation is that although it does have a full buildable coverage, your natural skin still ends up showing through. Just more perfected and even and flawless. It literally looks like your skin, but better. And to kind of explain sort of what I mean by your natural skin does show through, your skin still has perfected looking texture to it. My freckles were still lightly visible after a heavier application. Ugh, I hate freckles. Some people love their freckles and want their freckles to still show through. I respect that. I hate having freckles. On other people, gorgeous. On myself, hate it. But any redness or imperfections that I had prior to application were undetectable afterwards. So in a sense, I guess you could describe it as it shows what you want and it hides what you don't want. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. But things like that still show through while acne or redness or discoloration of the skin is covered. I feel like a lot of people will appreciate that aspect of this foundation. Now, this isn't the greatest foundation for dry or acne prone skin, as it does tend to accentuate those drier areas. Despite the fact that I have dry skin, I do like this foundation because it never makes the dry areas look flaky. But while it never makes those areas look flaky, it does make them look kind of scale-like. It holds down those dry patches and stops it from looking flaky, but you're still able to see obviously the edges of the little flakes that would normally come off your face. If that makes any sense, I'm sorry if that sounds gross. If you have dry skin, you probably know what I'm talking about. Of course, exfoliating your skin and applying a generous amount of moisturizer before applying this foundation does help slightly with the dryness. This is also a nice foundation in the sense where it doesn't necessarily require a primer. When I tested it both wearing a primer and not wearing a primer, it performed and wore the same. The wear time and the overall look of the foundation didn't differ. Powders and concealers also work incredibly well paired over top of this foundation without disturbing or moving the product. I really didn't feel that my face needed any extra coverage after applying the foundation besides my dark circles and under eye area, but any redness that I normally have on my forehead, around my nose, this foundation covered that well on its own. tone. Both powder foundations and setting powders work flawlessly to set this product. But again, if you have drier or acne prone skin, those dry patches are still going to show through. There's no real way of avoiding dry skin except to exfoliate and moisturize and work on making it better. This foundation wore incredibly well over time, and I didn't notice that it made me oily at all in my T-zone. Around the 6-hour mark, the foundation did start to break down around my nostrils, and it did lightly separate in my expression line. But I do want to note that this happens with anything and everything that I apply in those areas. It doesn't matter what it is, what the finish is, it literally does not matter. This happens with everything. That's just how things work on my skin. In a whole, the foundation held up really well for 8.5 hours before I felt any real need to touch up my face. Alright, so here's a bit of an update. It's been about, I want to say, 7 hours since I put the foundation on and whatnot. It's starting to break down around my nose and crease in my expression line. I did spend my day filming 3 videos sitting in front of hot lights all day, so I am a little bit oily on my nose. But the oil hasn't broken the product down. If anything, it's made it sit on my skin better because I have dry skin. So overall, to start off with, for a NARS foundation, I really appreciate that it comes with a controllable pump that lets you disperse the right amount of product. The range of shades available is also phenomenal. I usually struggle to find a shade light enough to match my skin tone, but finding one in the NARS selection was a breeze. There was the shade that I went with, Siberia, and the other 2 lightest I could have gone with. I chose to go with this one. It just seemed to match the best. But in a total of 20 shades, I could have gone with 3. That never happens. This foundation wears and applies beautifully, but like I said, it may not be the best for dry or acne prone skin, as it does tend to accentuate those problems. But it is a nice foundation, and just the shade range alone is worth checking out if you struggle to find a foundation in a shade that will work for you. Be sure to let me know in the comments below if you picked up this foundation, what your thoughts are on it, if you're planning to check it out, or just in general, what your skin type is and what your favorite foundation is. As always, don't forget to check out my blog for more details, photos, and swatches, as well as like, comment, and subscribe to show your support. If you'd like to give me a follow, I will have all of my social media listed here, as well as down in the description. As I always say, I hope you found this review helpful, and I hope that you're having a fantastic day, and thank you so much for watching.